name is Maas, and I'm the Vice President and co-founder of the Descendants of the Rats of Tobruk Australia Association. I am the proud granddaughter of Corporal Joseph Oakley, 2nd 13 RAE, a rat of Tobruk. Our association started at the request of living and past rat veterans to have an association for descendants to come together as one family as they did during the war and afterwards. I'm going to point to the table to reflect that that's the tree. This tree is the Ficus caraca, also known as the common fig tree. In this park, this fig tree is very special. We know it as the Tobruk fig tree. During the Second World War, Australian soldiers were at the siege of Tobruk in North Africa. The siege was from the 10th of April to the 7th of December 1941. A total of 242 days of continuous fighting. Over 14,000 men who fought during the siege became known as the Rats of Tobruk. Their motto was, "No surrender." Controlling North Africa gave the Allied forces access to the Suez Canal, enabling access to oil from the Middle East and raw materials from Asia. Tobruk became an important strategic location with the surrounding hills and deep harbour, making it relatively easy to protect. Located inside the Tobruk perimeter trenches and defensive posts, the fig tree was the only feature in a barren desert. It was an ideal location for a field hospital, a regimental aid post. Situated a few kilometres from the front line, just inside the red line, north of the Derna Road, the fig tree could be seen from both Hill 209 in the salient and Carrier Hill behind that. As it was visible from miles away, it made an easy target for German artillery, and the site was often heavily shelled for several hours a day. The tree became known as the Fig Tree Hospital and marked the entrance to a series of deep natural underground caves used by the Australians to treat the wounded. Doctors' skills were put to the test to save lives of the badly injured soldiers with limited medical supplies, whilst artillery rained around them. The caves were a place to stabilise the wounded before transferring them to the 4th Australian General Hospital near the harbour in Tobruk. The original Tobruk fig tree still stands today in that barren land in Tobruk, Libya, an everlasting reminder of the role it played 80 years ago. A cutting from that tree was brought back to Australia and planted at Rocky Creek, North Queensland. The tree you see here today has grown from that cutting, a living memorial to the many who served at Tobruk. This tree grew for many years in the background of Trish and late patron Gordon Wallace's backyard. The tree survived an axe attack by the 5-year-old grandson George, who was trying out his new tomahawk. In that battle, the tree lost a limb. But true to form, the fig tree kept growing, maybe a bit lopsided. Today it's fighting a new battle, settling into its new home, showing us the no surrender motto with its new leaf growth. The replanting would not have been possible without the help of Councillor Wine's office, Brisbane City Council's Jim Richards and his crew, Mr Peter Collins, Sandgate Naval Association, and Mr Ken Cullen Gathorne RSL, who is now the new custodian of the tree. The Tobruk fig tree has been gifted to the people of Brisbane from the Descendants of the Rats of Tobruk Australia Association and the family of the late Rat of Tobruk veteran Gordon Wallace, to commemorate the 80th anniversary of the Siege of Tobruk. We hope the people of Brisbane and beyond will look at the tree and remember what an important part the fig tree played 80 years ago and how many wounded men it protected. We will remember them.